Hey guys, it's Stephanie. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Feel free to subscribe, hit the bell so when I upload more content, you hear it and come running. Smash that like button, as many likes as we can get, and feel free to share. We share away here for the love of Star Wars. Today's video is about why we should never apologize for feeling how we feel about what Lucasfilm employees have done to Star Wars and George Lucas's legacy, and the fact that they're the ones that should be apologizing to us. We are their customers, we are the fans, we're the ones that spend the money, and we're owed a massive apology from them, not the other way around. We've done nothing wrong. So get ready, because I do rant. Stephanie, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, my video is going to deal with a little bit of a Twitter kerfuffle that I noticed and I got myself into. Not really understanding what was going on between a Twitter member named Eddie Artie, which is some form of the word nerd. He had been a vocal TLJ critic, and just recently he wrote this drippy, wussy blog about what a horrible human being he is. It read like it was like a response to the Gillette commercial. Men, you can be better. I wanted to gag. Wanted to freaking gag. So then he sends the blog to Pablo Hidalgo and Ryan Johnson and a couple other people, and they're like, yeah, thanks, you know, blah, blah, blah. He was apologizing for criticizing them and being so mean. All right. Biggest mistake you could ever do is apologize to someone who fucked you over. All right, I'll give you an example. And this is an example that's been used in the past, but it's a good example, an analogy. You've been going to this steak restaurant for 50 years. It's a beautiful steakhouse. It's like Morton's, Ruth's Chris. It's like Capitol Grill. It is gorgeous with a gorgeous wine menu. There's even wine lockers for people who are regulars, and cigar lockers, so they can go in the back after they're done with their meals and, you know, puff away at a Monte Cristo or something. So you go there, and it's always been good. I mean, you can order any kind of steak. And you can order lamb chops, beautiful, great big, huge, thick pork chops, all these magnificent things, and great sides. And it's always been good. Well, the guy that owns it decides, because it's owned by one person, decides he's gonna sell it. He's made a lot of money. He wants to retire. He wants to go off and do other things, so he sells it. So you go back. You're a once a month customer, maybe twice a month. So you go back after he sells it. There's a whole new chef. There's a whole new wait staff. Everything is new. And you notice that there's a lack of decorum. There's a lack of esprit de corps in the place right when you walk in the door. So you sit down and you order your favorite meal. I'll say the ribeye or steak Delmonico, something that is just, you know, tastes amazing. And it comes out and it's nothing but, it's mediocre. It's not cooked the way you like it. Medium rare. It's the service is shoddy. They don't care about what they're doing. It's obvious that the chef doesn't care about what he's doing or she's doing. All right, I'm gonna assume their gender, he or she. There's only two. And so you're kind of mad, but you're like, okay, this is me. You know, these guys are just getting started. We'll give them a chance. You go back again, and the steak this time is a little better. It's a little better, not much, but they're fine. They're gonna hit their stride. And you start hearing rumors that it's gonna be great. I mean, they're adding new stuff to the menu, and they're gonna really flip everything around on you. They're gonna flip it. You go back. You order you know, your usual. It is nothing but gristle. It is garbage. It is half raw. It stinks. The sides are just, I mean, the potatoes au gratin are runny and cold. You know, the green bean almondine thing that you liked is, you know, not even cooked. The wine that you ordered is definitely not a $50 bottle of Chateau Montelena. It's probably, you know, $2 Chuck. It is just nasty. It's just freaking nasty. There's no inspiration. And the service is terrible. So you get mad, you know, and you've been seeing other people complain about different things about it. The different parts of this business are not running well. So go up to the manager and you say, hey, you know, I've been coming here for 40 years. That meal I just had, that I paid, you know, a lot of money for, was terrible. What's going on? I mean, you're not asking for your money back. You're just saying, fix the problem. Instead of going, it was our fault. The chef isn't, we're in the process of getting, you know, any sort of excuse to placate the customer. No, you're not going to get that. You get screamed at by everybody who works at the restaurant, and they chase you out. So you go onto Yelp to let them have it. And you discover the reviews on Yelp. Everybody's saying the same thing. Everybody. Now, the reviewers, the people that, you know, the restaurant critics are like, oh, this is great stuff. This is the best steak ever. You know better. You've actually had to eat. You've actually eaten there. You've eaten there when it was after the owner sold, and it went from bland and mediocre to almost in, you know, in the goalposts, kind of not quite, to horrible. Horrible. And you notice by looking at everybody's comments, there's a cabal of people forming that have had the same issue happen, complained to the manager, and the manager basically blamed them for not liking their meal. All right, and these are all regulars. These are all people that go there at least twice a month, like you. So the restaurant decides, okay, instead of trying to figure out what our problem is and fixing it and apologizing to the customers for being such, they open up another restaurant, and within a week it fails. It loses hundreds of thousands of dollars right off the bat because nobody wanted to go. It is laughing stock. And yet it's your fault. It is the customer's fault that they didn't like the original restaurant's, you know, under the new ownership, the original restaurant's steak, because it was terrible. So they didn't go to the new one because they knew it was going to be terrible. Okay, now do you understand it? That's what this is. So my question to any arty and anybody who actually kind of went along with this is, do you guys remember what these people were saying about us? I'm a misogynist, apparently, according to Ryan Johnson and Pablo Hidalgo and all the rest of these nudges. I'm a woman. How can I be a misogynist? You know, oh, I forget. I just don't agree with anything they did with Star Wars. Okay. They called you guys man babies. They called you guys racists. They called you sexist. They called you bigots. They have never once apologized for any of that. But here we got Annie, E-N-N-I, Artie, apologizing for his reaction to how they, to the trash they pulled on him and everybody else. I'm sorry, that's not how the Force works. Okay, they're the ones that are at fault. They're the ones that basically ripped the guts and heart out of Star Wars, and they are not fixing it at all. Now, I know for a fact that JJ's trying his best, but I don't think he's the person to save Star Wars from what they did to it. Okay, so my thing is this: until I see public acknowledgement from Pablo Hidalgo for the decade at least on social media of harassment, of bullying that he pulled, because I have plenty of friends that have told me, and I've seen it, and I've seen the evidence on different people because they didn't like what they were doing at Lucasfilm. Public acknowledgement that he did it, public acknowledgement that he understands how bad that hurt the franchise and Lucasfilm, public acknowledgement that he was wrong, and apologizing to each and every one of us. I refuse to accept any of the blame for any of this shit. All right? Maybe my reaction was wrong. Maybe I should have said, well, fuck them and walked away like my husband does, but I'm not gonna. Because Star Wars is worth fighting for. It's worth, it's one of the biggest pieces of culture that we have, and it is worth anything to protect, okay? That's why I'm here, and that's why we're all here. And the idea that blog was just, oh God, Annie, my God, what is wrong with you? Why would you even say anything like that? First off, too much information, okay? Second of all, you're not a bad person. You're not a bad person for feeling what you felt when you saw TLJ, for feeling what you felt when you saw Hidalgo leading, and Kathy Kennedy leading Star Wars into the shithole that it is in now. You're not to blame for that. You feel what you're going to feel, and there's nothing wrong with that. They're the ones that owe us an apology, not us owing them. Okay? We're the ones that were wronged. George Lucas was the one that was wrong. I want somebody to do something for me. You find one bit, one spot, one instance where Hidalgo shows any gratitude for the opportunities that George Lucas gave him when he still ran Lucasfilm and Hidalgo was working there. I want to see some gratefulness on his part, on Kennedy's part. I've never seen gratefulness at all. You know, one of the most disturbing things about her, and she owes Todd Fisher and Billy Lord a huge apology, is how nasty and cold and mean Kennedy was when talking about Carrie Fisher's death. There's a video out there, and she basically just like, well, she's dead. We're not going to have her on there anymore. Like, this woman that she's known for decades, who's been in such a big part of Hollywood and was such a huge part of Star Wars, was her death was like a footnote and meaningless. Fuck you, Kennedy. Okay? F you, woman. How dare you talk like that? But this is why we don't owe them a goddamn anything. They're the ones that did this. Why? So why apologize? Why? It's weak. My father always said, if you apologize to someone who wronged you, you're weak. You are weak. All right? And that was a weak-ass thing to do. And I disagree with EVS. Pablo Hidalgo isn't a good guy. He's a nasty piece of work. And if he showed some graciousness and gratefulness to George Lucas verbally, and was genuine about it. If he said he was sorry for the abuse of the abuse of fans and Star Wars, maybe I'd consider accepting his apology. But until they actually come out and say they were wrong for treating us like that. Rian Johnson comes out, apologizes to Mark Hamill for treating him like a piece of shit, apologizes to the fans for ruining what JJ was trying to accomplish, and basically apologizes for taking TLJ and turning it into his magnum opus of bullshit that it was, this art house flick that the critics liked and we all hated. And if he apologizes for that, okay, fine. You're never allowed to come near Star Wars again. All right, that's it. You're not. You know, you're not allowed anywhere near it. Okay? That would be acceptable. That would be, okay, fine. And everybody goes on. And no more internet, whatever. But no, instead, any arty decides, oh, you know, I was wrong about TLJ, which he wasn't. And I'm really sorry for the way I talk. What the fuck? That is just beta male. Oh, you know. Do you think Clint Eastwood would do that if he got wronged? Do you think Harrison Ford would do that if he got wronged? No. In fact, I know for a fact that Mark Hamill actually got Bob Iger to curb stomp Kennedy after Kennedy called him and screamed at him for bad-mouthing TLJ, which Mark was perfectly in the right to do because he was right about it. Do you think he would tolerate being treated like that? No, he didn't. He doesn't. Do you think Carrie Fisher would? No. So why did you, Annie? Why? I'll be damned if I'll ever apologize to those cretins, those destroyers of noble ideals and things that Star Wars was supposed to be. I'll be damned if I'd ever do that. They owe us, not we owe them, and that is the fact. And if you are such a wussy little crumbling little whatever that you're gonna sit there and let SJWs like the pervert Brian Young tell you that you need to apologize and talk to autistic people and women and people of, what the fuck? See what you did? I'm sorry, but you were, I really wish you would have talked to people before you did that, because I can't deal with it. I mean, I would say if you apologize to them for anything, you are a moron and you don't deserve any sympathy when they come back and curb stomp you like they did the Star Wars girl. I remember that. I was part of that. I didn't understand what was happening because I thought it was actually Anna for a second because I wasn't wearing my reading glasses. All right. But now that I realized who it was, what did you think was going to happen? Oh, it's okay. These people, none of these people are normal. You know, read between the line of Hidalgo's tweets. All right. He's a condescending asshole. So is Ryan Johnson. Matt Martin's a dick too. I don't even know what I did to him and he blocked me. All right? So, no, you were wrong to do that. You were wrong. And this is my word of advice to anybody watching this. You never apologize to anybody who has wronged you first. You have the right to feel pissed off at them. All right? You do. You really, really do. Okay? And they should apologize and make amends. The fact that none of these people have done that, but Annie decided he was going to go and be the bigger person. You just made yourself look like the biggest pussy on the planet, okay? You really, really did. So, you know, my advice to you guys, don't apologize to them. They don't deserve it. They don't deserve your groveling at their feet, because that's what it looked like to me. You, Annie, groveled at their feet. They don't deserve that. No one deserves that, okay, when they've done something as shitty as they did. So anyway, I want you to think about what I said. I'm not taking back anything I said to them, ever. You know, Matt Martin can explain to me why he blocked me for no reason at all. You know, and you know, because I don't hate him. I'm like, what the fuck, man? What's wrong with you? You know, you know, I'm just not. None of us should. It's called being in the right, and we're in the right, they're in the wrong. Okay? You didn't have to apologize to anybody. What the fuck did you think you were doing, Annie? Jesus God. This is stuff, you know, trying to teach a guy how to actually be a man once. See you around the galaxy. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. Again, thanks for stopping by. You know, I had to get that off my chest. I was just livid when I you know, read that blog the other day, and then, you know, watching Hidalgo and Matt Martin and Ryan Johnson and then Brian Young jumping in that Star Wars girl, or the Star Wars girl, sorry, Anna, the Star Wars girl, and some other people jumping in and you know, attacking Annie for being the biggest wuss on the planet. This is why you don't ever apologize to any of them. All right, lesson learned, okay? Don't do it again. I can't believe I even have to tell a grown man this. You weren't then in the wrong to hate TLJ. You weren't in the wrong to criticize them. They've been, I mean, their behavior over almost a decade has been atrocious to the fans. Just like I said in the video. Okay, so this is Steph signing out. We'll see you around.